Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite English podcast. I'm Emma, and here with me is Mike. Today, we're unpacking something super exciting: successful people daily habits. But before we jump in, here's a question for you, our listeners. What's one habit you practice daily? Take a moment to think about it, because habits are the building blocks of success.
Yeah, it's fascinating when you think about it, Emma. I mean, every day, successful people make certain choices that keep them on track, and these choices can help anyone, really. So, here's something to think about, listeners. What's one habit you stick to every day?
Oh, good question, Mike. And it's interesting because what works for one person might look totally different for someone else. I mean, success isn't one size fits all. It can mean, financial success, personal growth, good health, or even happiness.
Exactly. So today, we're exploring habits that can support all these different types of success. So whether you're looking to improve your productivity, strengthen your mindset, or just feel more accomplished each day, this episode is for you.
These are the small routines and choices that can actually shape a person's path to success. So get comfy and let's get started.
Key points.
So let's start by talking about what we actually mean by success. I think for a lot of people, success is kind of wrapped up in money or career, like hitting a certain salary or getting that promotion. But it can definitely go beyond that, right?
Absolutely, Emma. Success can mean different things to different people. For some, it's about financial security, sure, but for others, it's about personal growth, staying healthy, or finding peace in everyday life.
Exactly. And sometimes it's just about feeling good with where you are. Success can be as simple as, having balance in life and feeling content. Not everyone has the same goals, and that's okay.
Totally. There's no single path or definition of success. Some people see success in relationships, others in health, or maybe in learning something new each day. It's personal, and that's what makes it interesting.
So, today, we're going to look at habits that can support all these different versions of success. Whether it's financial, personal growth, or just feeling happy day to day, these habits can help anyone move toward what they're aiming for.
Right. And as we go through, just remember, these are adaptable ideas. The goal is to find what works for you, because success, at the end of the day, should be meaningful to you personally.
Absolutely. So think about what success looks like for you as we explore these habits. It doesn't have to be big changes. Even small adjustments can make a difference over time.
Exactly. And these little shifts can be powerful. Success often starts with these daily habits that seem small, but build up over time to shape where you're headed.
And hopefully by the end of today, you'll be inspired to try out a habit or two that really resonates with you and fits your own idea of success.
All right, let's get into these habits and see what successful people are doing to stay on track and how we might all learn something from it.
So, before we get into the specific habits, let's actually talk about what a habit is, right? It's one of those words we use all the time, but what does it really mean?
Yeah, great point, Emma. A habit is something you do regularly, like almost on autopilot. It's a behavior that becomes part of your routine without needing much thought.
Exactly. And the cool thing about habits is that when they're positive, they can support our goals and make things easier. Instead of constantly having to think about doing something, it just becomes part of who we are.
Right, and I think that's why habits are so powerful for success. They're like building blocks, and over time, these small actions add up. Consistency is really key here because habits need time to develop.
Totally. Success isn't usually the result of one big thing. It's more like a series of small, consistent steps. And that's where habits come in. They help us create those steps day after day without getting overwhelmed.
Exactly, Emma. Habits give us a kind of structure. So instead of making big, exhausting decisions every day, we have these actions already set, guiding us toward our goals.
And the best part is, habits can be adjusted. If something isn't working, you can make small tweaks until it does. So, they're flexible too, which makes them perfect for anyone trying to, move toward their own version of success.
Right. So with that in mind, let's start looking at some specific habits successful people rely on. We'll see how they use these small, consistent actions to build the life they want.
Inside the habits of success.
Okay, let's get into these specific habits that successful people have. First up, we have consistency in goal setting and reflection. This one's big because it's all about setting clear, actionable goals and then regularly reflecting on them.
Yeah, it's almost like having a roadmap. Successful people often set small, achievable goals and check in with themselves to see how they're doing. This helps them stay focused and make adjustments if needed.
Exactly. And honestly, that reflection part is so important. It's easy to set goals, but looking back and seeing what's working or what isn't can make a huge difference in staying on track.
Totally. Another habit we see a lot is a commitment to daily learning and growth. Successful people are often lifelong learners, always looking to expand their knowledge or skills, even if it's just a little each day.
Yes, it's about that continuous growth mindset. Whether they're reading, listening to podcasts, or picking up new skills, they're always adapting and improving.
Right, and that ties in well with effective time management and prioritization. Successful people make sure they're spending their time on what matters most. They know when to say no and focus on what truly moves them toward their goals.
Exactly. It's not just about being busy, it's about being productive. They know how to prioritize, which keeps them from getting overwhelmed.
Another one we can't skip is mindfulness and mental resilience. Many successful people practice mindfulness, whether through meditation, journaling, or just taking a moment to pause. It keeps them grounded and resilient.
Definitely. When life gets stressful, those practices help them stay centered. It's like a mental recharge that keeps them going strong.
And finally, there's the habit of building strong networks. Successful people often surround themselves with others who inspire and support them. Having that positive, motivating network can be a huge boost.
Absolutely. It's like having a team, even if you're working on personal goals. That support system can really fuel motivation and make the journey feel less lonely.
Stories and examples.
So now that we've covered these habits, let's look at a few examples from successful people who use them every day. It's always inspiring to see how these habits play out in real life.
We are going to play audio clips of these people, and we would like you to comment what you think.
Absolutely. One person who comes to mind is Oprah Winfrey. She's big on daily reflection and journaling. She's talked a lot about how writing down her thoughts each day keeps her focused and helps her stay connected to her goals, which is so powerful.
All right, let's listen to what Oprah has to say.
When you look at successful people, you have talked to everyone in the world who is successful. What would you say is the one common characteristic that you find gets people to where they want to go?
Important question is the people get to where they want to go because they know where they want to go.
Oh, wow.
And most people don't know where they want to go. A lot of people are going and being driven by what they think they should do,
right,
what other people say they should do, what they have carried in their mind for a long time they should do. But the most important question you can ever ask yourself is, what do I really want?
Wow.
And the answer to that, once you can establish for yourself what the answer to that is, and have everything you do, every choice you make, move you in the direction of what you say your vision is.
Right.
Yeah. And when you do that, the forces of life rise up to meet you. The reason why most people have such chaotic lives is because they're living in chaos in their head. And as soon as you get clear, it clears up.
Open to letting the process of changing the world change you. That is the spirit of constructive engagement. So that's the goal, to be a compassionate woman of substance, to be committed, to have constructive engagement, to live this life of substance. Substance. What I know for sure is if you focus on the substance, the success will come.
There you have it.
Totally. Then there's Elon Musk. He's known for his intense commitment to learning and growth. Even with everything on his plate, he sets aside time to learn and stay on top of new technology, especially in areas he's passionate about.
Exactly. He has that constant curiosity which keeps him innovating and growing. It shows that daily learning can have a big impact, even for someone at his level. Let's listen.
My workload went up from about, 70 to 80 hours a week to probably 120. Yeah. I go to sleep, I wake up, I work, go to sleep, wake up, work, do that 7 days a week. I'll have to do that for a while, no choice. But I think once Twitter is set on the right path, I think it is a much easier thing to manage than SpaceX or Tesla. So 7 days a week, sleeping in the factory. I worked in the paint shop, general assembly, body shop.
You ever worry about yourself imploding? Like it's just too much?
Absolutely. No one should put this many hours into work. This is not good. People should not work this hard. They should not do this. It's very painful.
Painful in what sense?
It hurts my brain, my heart. Sleep is really great because I find if I don't get enough sleep, then I'm quite grumpy. I mean, obviously, I think most people are that way. And also, I try to sort of figure out what's the right amount of sleep because I found I could drop below a certain threshold of sleep, and although I'd be awake more hours and I could sustain it, I would get less done because my mental acuity would be affected. So I found generally the right number for me is around 6 to 6.5 hours on average per night.
And let's not forget about Arianna Huffington. She's a big advocate for mindfulness and mental resilience, especially after her experience with burnout. She's introduced practices like meditation and even created a wellness-focused company, Thrive Global, to promote mental health.
Yes, she really shows how important it is to take care of mental health. And her story is a reminder of how resilience and mindfulness can keep you going even when things get tough. Here is what she had to say.
So the most important habit that I keep getting better and better at, but I'm still not as great as I'd like to be at, is remembering that I'm not my job. I think the minute we completely identify with our jobs, we lose our ability to take risks, to be more detached from what we're doing, because very often if you're trying to be creative and doing new things, you have no guarantees.
There are no guarantees.
And anytime you want to be completely secure and do only things that are guaranteed to succeed, whatever that may mean, you are not going to do very creative things. So in 2007, it was 2 years into my building the Huffington Post. I had 2 teenage daughters, I was divorced, and I really came to believe that the only way I could juggle everything and make my life work was by ignoring my own needs, by foregoing sleep, by not giving myself time to recharge. And as a result, there I was one April morning. I got up from my desk to put on a sweater because I was feeling cold, and I collapsed. I hit my head on my desk, and I came to in a pool of blood with a broken cheekbone and a big slash in my eye. It was a really painful wake-up call that got me to the realization that not just me, but tens of millions of people around the world are living with a collective delusion that in order to succeed, we have to burn out. And as entrepreneurs, the most important thing that determines the success or failure of what we're doing is the quality of our decision making. In fact, there is clearly a connection between our cognitive performance, our decision making, and how fully recharged we are. And the key here is sleep.
These examples really bring it all together. Successful people don't just talk about habits, they actually live them, making them part of their daily routines.
Exactly. And for our listeners, these stories are a great reminder that anyone can start small and build up these habits. It doesn't take huge changes, just consistent effort over time.
Tips for listeners.
All right, so let's get into some tips for our listeners on how they can start building these habits into their own lives. The key is to start small. Big changes can feel overwhelming, but little steps are much easier to keep up with.
Absolutely, Emma. One idea is to pick just one habit to focus on at first. Like, if daily learning appeals to you, maybe try reading for just 10 minutes each day, or listening to a podcast on a topic you're interested in.
Yes, and if it's the habit of reflection, you could start with a quick journaling routine. Just jotting down a few thoughts at the end of each day is enough to build that habit gradually.
Another great tip is to set reminders. When you're starting something new, it's easy to forget. So, putting a reminder on your phone or setting an alarm can help you stay consistent, especially in the early days.
Totally. And I'd say, don't stress about being perfect. If you miss a day, don't be hard on yourself. Just pick it up again the next day. Consistency is more important than perfection.
And let's not forget to track progress, even in small ways. It's motivating to see how far you've come. So keeping a simple checklist or calendar can help you stay committed.
Great point, Mike. And remember, these habits aren't about immediate results. They're about building a foundation for success over time. So take it slow, be patient, and give yourself credit for each step forward. All right, now let's talk about some of the common challenges people face when trying to build new habits. It's not always easy, and I think most of us have hit some roadblocks along the way.
Common challenges and how to overcome them.
Definitely. One big challenge is time management. People often feel like they don't have enough time to add something new to their routine, especially with busy schedules.
Yeah, and a good way to tackle that is to start small. Even 5 minutes a day can make a difference. Once it's part of your routine, you can build on it gradually without feeling overwhelmed.
Exactly. Another challenge is distractions. There's always something else grabbing our attention. A helpful tip here is to set up a designated time or space for your habit. That way you have fewer distractions pulling you away.
Yes, and I'd add that it's important to minimize temptations. If you're trying to read every day, maybe leave your phone in another room or put it on silent so you're less tempted to check it.
Good point. Another common challenge is staying motivated, especially when results don't come immediately. Successful habits take time to show benefits, so it's easy to lose enthusiasm.
Right, and that's where tracking your progress can help. Even if you're just noting down each day you complete a habit, it feels rewarding and helps keep that motivation alive.
And if things get tough, remind yourself why you started. Sometimes reconnecting with your why, the reason you wanted to build this habit, can reignite your motivation when you feel like giving up.
Exactly. It's about remembering that these challenges are normal. They're just part of the process. And with a bit of patience, anyone can get through them. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope this look at successful people's daily habits has been inspiring and, given everyone a few ideas to try out.
Absolutely. We've talked about so many ways to bring these habits into our lives, from goal setting and reflection to learning, mindfulness, and building supportive networks.
Exactly. And remember, the power of these habits lies in the small, consistent steps. Success doesn't have to be this huge leap. It can be built little by little, day by day.
So for all our listeners, why not start with one small habit today? Choose something that feels manageable and give it a try. The key is to stay consistent and just enjoy the journey. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Not forgetting, leave your review in the comments.
Yeah, even the smallest habits can add up over time. So, whether you're looking for growth, peace, or productivity, there's a habit out there that can help you get closer to your own version of success. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you don't miss out on the upcoming episodes.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We can't wait to hear about your progress. And as always, keep striving for those small wins. Until next time, keep building those habits that bring you joy and fulfillment.
Bye, everyone. Stay inspired, stay consistent, and we'll see you in the next episode.